Just a sort of reminder that whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to, get result of, you need to plan for it. No matter how minute or how little or least it could sound, you definitely enjoy the result of whatever you fully planned for at the end of the day. You're welcome to the Morning Express on Mela 98.3 FM. This is where we make your morning a very, very interesting one, right? And we want you to ride with us as we promise to always make every minute count of your time. So you're welcome on board to the Morning Express. But this time we dedicate it to trends in the papers. This is where we look through several trends, we look through several updates, we look through several stories we have in our dailies, right? In several sectors actually, be it sports, be it politics, socio-economic issues, be it business, be it health, be it education, whatever it is, right? We'll see through what is going on just to get to be familiar with a lot of these stories and also to better understand what's happening around us with the help of the analysis, and we'll be holistically looking at that by our in-house analyst side Fᴜʟ, which will be joining us. Who will be joining us shortly. But you can join the conversation. You can join the conversation via Facebook and YouTube at Mela 98.3 FM. That is that is the handle at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can enjoy an audio visual experience, and you can as well listen via Radio Garden. Just download the Radio Garden app, or you go to the site and then you search for Mela 98.3 FM, and you get to enjoy all of the content we put out there. And in case you haven't followed us on all social media platforms, you are missing out on all of the contents we are putting out there, so go on all social media platforms, be it Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Do well to follow us, and you get to see all the content that we put out there. It's Trends on the Papers on Mela 98.3 FM. My name is Tʀᴇ Akínyosoye, and we will be perusing the pages of majorly The Punch, The Guardian, The Vanguard newspaper to see what's going on, like I mentioned earlier. But give me just a minute. I have a message for you, especially towards the next election. We are like how many days, how many months to the next general election in January and February, and we need to get sensitized. We need to pass important information as electorate, people that are eligible to vote, to know what you need to know about voting. I will be back in MB2.
Madam, there's soon now.
Abi, no mind them. Now so they do for inside public bus. They go sit down like say then they their papa house. Hey, Jerry, my friend.
Mama Nkechi,
PVC matter where they follow up before we enter bus. I beg.
Whoa. Mami Nkechi, jẹ́ kí n ṣàlàyé fún ẹ. Ó máa ra PVC yẹn ni. Ó máa ra. Sorry, a lot of people àìmọye àwọn èèyàn tó ti wá bá mi wí pé wọ́n fẹ́ ra PVC, mo dẹ̀ mú wọn débẹ̀.
Thank you, God bless you.
Ìgbà tí mo dé ọ́fíìsì INEC báyìí 25,000 naira péré ni. Wọ́n dẹ̀ get PVC.
Just 25,000 naira.
Kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, Mami Nkechi.
Madam, who tell you say that they sell PVC? When you forget your own information, say that they sell PVC. No let person just they misdirect you anyhow. They give you wrong information. No, your PVC now free. So long as you don't reach the age to take votes, now absolutely free. You no go pay 1 naira. I did tell you I go lie for you again.
No be 25. She tell me say na 25,000 naira.
That one has scam. I don't know where she for the get her. Oh, she don't carry plenty people go buy PVC. How now? See, if you want to know more about this PVC matter, waka enter inecnigeria.org. inecnigeria.org. All the information when you want there, you go get them. Or make you go their secretariat for any local government, and they go attend to you one time. You not go pay 1 naira for anything. 1 naira, you not go pay. Your PVC now your rights, and nobody must take them from you or tell you say you must buy them before you get them.
Mommy Tuji, he talk say na free. Why? And now you they follow talk now. She be talk say na 25. God, thank you. Make I go INEC office now.
Honestly, Nigerians, like this way don't be for 2027. Go and get your PVC. And remember, you no go pay 1 naira for your PVC. It is absolutely free. Again, waka go inecnigeria.org or make you go any of their secretariat for any local government. They go attend to you one time.
You are listening to the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for standing by. Thank you for trusting the frequency. This is Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. And my name is Tʀᴇɪᴅs Iṛ. We want to go through and review the pages of our dailies this morning, the Punch, the Vanguard, the Guardian newspaper, to see what's trending and to see what's going on the front pages, the front covers of our dailies, and also in the bellies of all of them. All right, I have Said Fad on the other side. Good morning, Said.
Yeah, Lady Mo, good morning. How are you doing?
Doing very well. How are you doing too? Hope you had a restful night.
Yeah, thank God. I'm good.
I was tempted to ask, do you have your PVC? And I remember that, essential workers.
Essential, but I have my PVC.
And the amendments we had in the Electoral Act we didn't get the clause for early votes for essential workers. Yeah. For essential workers.
I have my PVC. We can't be telling people to get their PVC
and not have, right?
So we shouldn't be doing do what I say, not what I do. So I have my PVC intact. At least I can tell people get your PVC because I also have mine.
Right. I trust you. You are a patriotic citizen of the country.
PVC
very passionate.
But unfortunately,
right.
The way I work is we might not be able to vote. I think I registered. Okay, yeah, just at the back of the office, but again. It's going to be a busy day, so going on the line to, accredit myself, get myself accredited and vote might be very difficult.
Yeah, but people have been debating it's not been fair enough. The number of essential workers that we have that that have been deprived of their right, to vote.
Okay, we'll get there one day. At least,
we get there one day. We had the opportunity to adjust that in the last.
That might be problematic. We have a very peculiar problem. Look at the NBA election. Lawyers, learned Nigerians, just 85,000 members, and look at the entire mess that came out of it. So when we conduct elections on just 2 days in a month, like back to back, 2 weekends, it becomes problematic. Don't be surprised that if you allow for early voting, it might also create a lot of problems. Until we have the desire and the commitment to do the right thing, these things are not going to happen. So I think we should just leave it. Hopefully one day we'll have people of good conscience, good commitment to building this nation. These things will happen, but for now, I think let's just manage what we have. Right.
Well, anyways, you're welcome on board to Trends in the Paper side for it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Let's kickstart the review this morning. We have several updates, developing stories, news stories, and all that, appointments here and there, and all that. But let's start from the update from this fictitious agency, right? While we had the House of Representatives, inaugurating or bringing on board the ad hoc committee to investigate the existence and also the operations of the PFIPC, that's the agency, fictitious agency or so-called fake agency, and it's chaired by Yusuf Gadi and inaugurated by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas. But before we talk about those that was asked questions, those that testified before the committee, I want to give the report of the suspect himself, right? In the Vanguard newspaper, he also explained how the agency got into the 2026 budget, right, when he was having a conversation with the popular very dark man influencer, social media influencer, shortly after his arrest. So according to the Vanguard newspaper, He explained how the agency was captured in the federal government's 2026 budget despite his arrest before the appropriation process was concluded, right? And according to him, he said he visited the budget office in December 2024 to seek inclusion of the agency in 2025 appropriation bill, but he was informed that the budget process had already closed, right? And he said that he went to the budget office for the 2025, submitted letter and everything that he would need to submit, but he was told that it was late, that probably he should wait till 2026, right? 2026 appropriation bill or appropriation budget. According to him, he said he met with one of the female, it was a female official that helped him gain access to the office of the Director General of the Budget Office before he was referred to another director. And when he was asked whether he paid any budget office official, he said he only promised officials some favors on execution of the bill, of the deal rather, that he didn't pay any money, he didn't pay anybody, but he was promising them for promising them jobs, opportunity, employment opportunities and all that. And he also admitted promising future favors to some officials, but insisted that no cash exchanged hands during his interactions at the budget office. And he said when the process ended, the process ended immediately, and his arrest, his legal troubles overtook every other plan, and so he could not go ahead with the deal. The budget now, the budget proposal into the 2025, and so he was arrested, struggling with court issues and all that. But he later said he was shocked when he later found out that the proposal found its way into the 2026 budget, right, when he was asked about it. And he also admitted that he had not met with Gbajabiamila face to face, that the intermediary between them was the Tanimola that has been reported dead, that he was the one that was doing the seeing, according to him, according to the report he gave, the seeing by the chief of staff, and also the 400 million naira is being said to have been paid to the chief of staff. He said it was Tanimola, and he was not even sure. Now he's saying that he's not sure if the money was delivered to the chief of staff, right? This is the early revelation he has given. Now, away from that, the House of Representatives ad hoc committee had investigated, and yesterday's hearing had reviewed some critical gaps in the bureaucratic processes that allowed the fictitious agency, to obtain the functional perks accorded to real government agencies. So, represented by the director of its banking services department, that's the CBN, precisely Hamisu Ibrahim, said that the accounts, one in US dollars, the other in British pound sterling, were opened following the mandate that they received from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. That on July 30, 2025, they received a mandate that was dated July 29, 2025, the previous, a day before, from the Office of the Accountant General. And then they received the mandate to authorize two accounts, one in US dollar domiciliary account and the other a pounds domiciliary account for the agency. Of course, the PE, Presidential Economic Advisory Council, that's the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council, right? And he also said that the CBN's verification process, the process of opening an account requires a mandate from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, and they went ahead because they got a mandate from the Accountant General of the Federation. And once they received the mandate, they perform all necessary verifications to confirm that this mandate is actually coming from that office. And the department that handles the mandates is also different from the department that will actually, that does the opening of the account. But nevertheless, he noted that no one came afterwards to activate the account after they were opened, right? That they did not receive any correspondence, did not receive any mandate or signature or mandate card. They were not introduced to the authorizing or approving officers as well. And based on that, those accounts remain inactive after opening with zero balance. And there have been no foreign exchange allocations, right? However, earlier when this saga started, the CBN, what we got was that no account was opened for this agency. That's according to the Accountant General or submission by the Accountant General Samsudeen Ogunjimi, who had claimed that no accounts were opened in the agency's name. But of course, with this testifier, he said 2 accounts were opened, one in dollar and one in pounds. Now, also testifying, we had the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Wilson Jack, saying that our office never allocated any space for the PFIPC. The debate also was that how can a fictitious agency have a clear open space in the secretariat, federal secretariat? But according to the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, he said they did not allocate any space for them, right? He said records available to the office of the head of the Civil Service show that the office space that had been reported is occupied by the council at the reported that has been occupied by the Federal Secretariat Phase 3 had been officially allocated to the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and not to the fictitious agency or the fictitious council, right? That the speculation that the council occupied the space in the Federal Secretariat Phase 3, that they can state categorically, according to her, that the office of the head of civil service of the Federation did not allocate any office space to the council. And he also told the committee that during the 2025 annual manpower budget defense exercise, that the council submitted additional documents, right, through someone, that's Patricia Kigbe to be precise, including the appointment letter of this DG, that's the suspect at AME, and details of its mandate, after which its request was processed alongside those of 87 other ministries, departments and agencies when they are trying to approve administrative structure, because according to her, that's what they do. They don't approve agency formation, but they approve administrative structure. So while they were during the 2025 annual, they got this council's document with the appointment letter of the DG and also the mandates and the appointments of staffs, and an authorized establishment for 304 positions was issued to the council, that's this fictitious agency, and a recruitment waiver followed days after explaining that. And though he said that this particular person that brought the document, that's Patricia, had been invited for questioning by the police, but she stressed, that's the head of civil service, said that our office neither deploys staff to the council or approved any recruitment, and urged the committee to direct further inquiries to the office of the Secretary General of the Federation. These are the revelations that have been made so far by the testifiers from the CBN and also from the head of civil service. Though Gbajabiamila also had gone to the ICPC after invitation, right? According to his legal counsel, GT Ogunye, saying that, or confirming the appearance in a statement that was signed yesterday, that Gbajabiamila, of course, President had ordered the directive in July 7, ordering the ICPC to investigate the agency. And so upon invitation, he had also gone there about 30 minutes, giving a statement, and also, said it will help with investigation.
Right, Lady Mo, that's well detailed, so we will not spend so much time over analyzing this issue. First and foremost, I think we have to thank the House of Reps under the leadership of Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas for doing the right thing, for standing up to, we've always criticized the National Assembly. In fact, in my own estimation, the 10th National Assembly, this fourth Republic experiment is the worst, has been the worst when it comes to, looking at the doctrines of separation of power and checks and balancing. But again, on this one, you can see that the House of Reps have decided to step up, have decided to do the right thing as against what the red chambers have done by saying, they are not going to investigate, they are not going to have any public hearing. You see, the fact that the case is in court, and you must also remember that the case in court actually is a case against Adeyemi, Lady Mo, because I think because the case is in court that you investigate, you don't know what you are saying. Don't just be so bold with your lack of knowledge about how some of these things work. The case in court, particularly, as we speak, Lady Mo, is the case against Adeyemi, Abi. as running a fake agency. What we are talking about is even beyond. The reality is that, look, Adeyemi's case is well established. In fact, for a man to have gone ahead to publicly assert that he borrowed 400 million naira to bribe his way through to procure an appointment, the man is already nailing himself as somebody who is dubious and of dubious character. So I am sure that prosecutors are going to find it very easy to nail him in court as somebody who is fake, dubious, and of questionable character. But what we are saying is that, look, how was he able to do all of these things, Lady Mo? That is what the investigation is about. That, look, he could not have done it alone, no matter how dubious or how criminal-minded he is. There is no way he would have been able to do all of that all by himself. What it means is that, look, we have a very porous system. There are questions around the way we run our government, and then who aided him in doing all of the things he had done. That is what the investigation is about. One, to punish anybody who is found culpable. Two, to correct the mistake or the wrong that we have in our system. That is why you do this. And do you think people just vote for senators and House of Reps there to go and be bench warmers, not to perform their oversight functions and do these kinds of things? Now, look at the revelations we are getting, Lady Mo. And the hearings continue today. But from this revelation, anybody whose brain is working with common sense will already know where this problem is coming from, Lady Mo. If you are very discerning, if you have a brain that can be very discerning, you will know that exactly that we have been saying, Adeyemi could not have done all of these things all by himself. Now, the CBN has now confirmed that truly they opened an account for him, Lady Mo. And in fact, the two accounts were domiciliary accounts, one in dollars, one in British pounds. And that they did not open the account just like that, because, say, hey, Lady Mo, can I just walk into the CBN and say I want to go and open an account? Now, yes, they said they got a mandate, an instruction from the office of the Accountant General, Lady Mo, before they opened the account for him. Remember that some few days ago, the Accountant General said that, the accounts were not opened, that the process was not completed. But the CBN has contradicted him now by saying, you know what, we completed the process, even though the account was not operational, but we actually opened the account on the mandate from your office, the Accountant General. Lady Mo. So that is one established fact. So how did the Accountant General, what were the checks that they did before they gave a mandate to the CBN to open an account for Adeyemi and his so-called fake agency? Lady Mo. Number two, so that we don't spend too much time, I'm sure by the second day of the hearing today, we'll get more revelations. Number two, the head of the civil service, he said that, you know what, from our record, we never allocated any office to this agency. From our records. That office space that is attributed to that fake agency was actually allocated to the office of the Secretary of the Federal Government. So how did an office that was allocated to the Secretary of the Federal Government become an office for Adeyemi, Lady Mo, and its so-called fake agency? You don't understand what I'm saying.
Right.
The head of the civil service is saying that this so-called third floor office of the Federal Secretariat that is said to have been allocated to the fake agency was never allocated to him. Their records show that office was allocated to the office of the Secretary of the Federal Government. So at what point did an office that was allocated to the office of the Secretary become that of Adeyemi's commission? Who gave him the keys? Who eventually reallocated the office to him? And then you had the issues of, whether he got people to work with him or not. We'll get more revelations today, because I think according to the committee, the secretary to the government is expected to appear today, George Akume himself.
Right.
Because again, a lot of these things now, and I'll be waiting to see where the Accountant General also makes an appearance today. I think it's also going to appear. The head of the civil service had appeared. Again, that's why the secretary has been called to explain You know, so you will know that Lady Mo and touch hand on this Adeyemi matter. Again, from the report we are hearing that even though Femi Gbajabiamila, which was what we questioned yesterday, had not been invited by this House Arrest Committee, he appeared before the ICPC. The lawyer, Mr. G.T. Ogunye, confirmed that Gbajabiamila was questioned by the ICPC. So, ICPC 30 days, I don't know how many days they've been on this investigation. The House of Reps have their public hearing. I'm sure time will tell. We'll eventually get to the bottom of this. I'm sure that somehow, somewhere, we'll get to the bottom of this. But at least from the little we had from what happened yesterday and what might happen today, I think Nigerians should already begin to know where the whole thing came from.
Right. And speaking about those that will be invited on Thursday, the Inspector General of Police also will be invited, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Finance, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Justice, as well as the Minister of Budget and National Planning, also the Accountant General of the Federation, the heads of the Budget Office of the Federation, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission also, the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission. We also be invited.
Again, we have to very, very good one from the House of Reps that they have done this, because beyond even looking for who to punish, who was culpable, it gives us an insight into our problematic government bureaucracy, the way we are running our government, and it might also help us to block some of these leakages and some of these inadequacies. So again, when they do the right thing, we have to commend them. On this one, the leadership of the House of Reps have done a fantastic job, and we appreciate what they have done so far.
Right. Thank you, Fuad. Quickly, let's talk about the appointment that was made. Tinubu appointing Fayose as the REA board chairman, that's Rural Electrification Agency. He appointed the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, as the chairman of the Rural Electrification Agency board. And the president also made 25 other appointments to 10 federal government agencies and also commissions, which was contained in a statement by the spokesman, that's presidential spokesman, in Abuja. And so all appointments would take immediate effect. And according to the statement, the president announced 26 new appointments to 10 federal government agencies and commissions, with the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, emerging as the chairman of the REA, that's Rural Electrification Agency, as Major General Junaid Bindawa also as the chairman of the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, and on and on. I mean, the breakdown of because of our time is in the, but more of the conversation which people had also come about.
Yes.
What's your reaction?
You see, Lady Mo, somebody made a joke on social media yesterday that got me laughing seriously. That this is not actually an appointment; it's a redeployment of Fayose, Governor Ayo Fayose, former Governor Ayo Fayose. This, we call it an appointment by the Tinubu government, but they think that this is a redeployment. And a redeployment, the guy said, oh, he had an appointment before, whether official or unofficial, and that he had been the special advisor to the Tinubu government and APC on Governor Seyi Makinde matters. That Fayose had occupied the position of the special advisor to the Tinubu government and the APC on Governor Seyi Makinde matters. So what they have now done is to take him from that position and are now giving him a job. And that just got me laughing, because at least people are saying maybe Governor Seyi Makinde can now rest. At least now that they're giving him a job. You see, Lady Mo, we're going to look at this very critically. Now, remember that in February 2024, the Tinubu government set up a committee to be headed by the secretary to the government, George Akume, for the implementation of the Oronsonye report. And they gave that committee 12 weeks to submit their report. You know what the Oronsonye report? Very simple. Cut down the cost of governance, merge agencies and ministries. All these agencies, ministries, commissions that are doing the same thing. Let us cut down the duplication of duty, what have you. Let's cut down the cost of governance. I remember that instruction was given in February 2024 by this government. You know, there was a lot of talk about duplication of duty, wastages, excessive commissions, agencies flying right, left, and center, all motion without move. Lady Mo, go to Abuja and you understand what I'm saying. You have a lot of people that are busy doing nothing, practically doing nothing. I say it again. You have a lot of people who are busy, practically busy doing nothing, all motion without movement. And since February 2024, did the committee even submit any report to the government? If they submitted a report to the Tinubu government, have we even cut down cost of governance? Have we matched anything? Have we reduced anything? Instead, what do we see? Appointments flying right, left, and center. And that's why you see a lot of people saying that these are jobs for the boys, Lady Mo. These are what? Just jobs for the boys. And I'll tell you why it appears that these are just jobs for the boys. Look at now. Former governor of Fayose. After so much wala wala walu 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 up and down, Abi, he has now gotten a job as the chairman of the Rural Electrification Agency. Lady Mo, let us ask ourselves: this what have they done in the last 10 years? This Rural Electrification Agency. We just heard of the report of the World Bank that said about 85 million Nigerians are without electricity. So what is the specific duty, responsibility of this Rural Electrification Agency? Looking at the current structure of electricity in Nigeria, what are they doing?
I was about to ask the mandate of the agency. Is it to ensure that there is adequate distribution of electricity to every household?
Like what are they? Are they buying transformers? What have they done? How many rural communities have they put on the national grid? What have they done? What have they been doing? Why must we have this agency? Now they put Fayose there. Go and be doing what precisely? Now look at the other agencies. Look, as we speak today from my research, Lady Mo, as we speak, we have over 900 ministries, departments, and agencies, what you call MDAs in Nigeria. Over 900. Lady Mo. And from the also a report, it was said that about 451 of those agencies, ministries, and parastatals are doing almost the same thing, duplicated responsibilities. Over 900 kilo. What are we doing? And that is why some of the commissions are just there. They are just existing. Some of them they are missing in action. You remember that there was one commission, I've forgotten the name, one research commission, that the DG said what they've done in the last 10 years is a research on how to preserve Kilishi. Because that was the same one here. That is how to preserve Kilishi. Because they're nothing, they're just there. Okay, look at some of the appointments. We'll not talk about the list of the 26 people, but look at some of the agencies that were mentioned and commissions. There's the National Salaries and Wages Commission, at least because of the issue of salary, we always hear about those ones. Then there's a National Lottery Trust Fund. National Lottery Trust Fund. God knows what they do. I would have to check that out. Then, of course, we know of the Revenue, Mobilization, and Fiscal Commission. That one, they always come into the news because of the issue of salary or increments of salary or not. So we hear about them. So they are just there to Revenue, Mobilization, and Fiscal Commission. Sharing of revenue, you understand? FAC allocation. So you see that most times we hear of that particular commission. Then there's the National Population Commission, Lady Mo. The National Population Commission, the last time we did any census, Lady Mo, was in 2006. The last time we did any census was in 2006. The National Population Commission, what it means is that the last time they ever did any serious job was in 2006.
We were supposed to have this done.
It was supposed to be
I think last year.
Yes.
They were even contemplating on provision of doing that. I think last year it was 2025.
Last year, a year before we've been talking about doing
yes.
But the last so the people in the National Population Commission, what have they been doing? They know. A question, okay. So let's move on again. There's the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC. Well, in the power sector, I'm sure they must have one or two things they are doing. Then there's the Nigeria Atomic Energy Commission. Lady Mo. Nigeria Atomic Energy Commission.
Is it that I want to create atomic bomb?
God knows. Then there's the, look at this one. Again, we are just talking about the agencies that were recently mentioned in this appointment. So I just told you that the result of my research shows that we have over 900 ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, at the federal level. Just at the federal level. But look at this one too that was mentioned in these recent appointments, because there were about 10 of them. National Center for Agricultural Mechanization.
Mechanized farming.
What are they doing? What is National Center for Agricultural Mechanization? What would they be doing? What exactly are they doing? What have they done? But you know what? People have been appointed as board members, as leaders of these agencies. Again, we have refused to cut down the cost of governance, duplication of duty. Far back as 2024, the government announced set up a committee to cut down the cost of governance. But have that been done? Instead, more appointments are happening because, again, we need to take care of the boys. I rest my case.
Well,
they also too. Let me forget. Apart from that, there is a Fiscal Responsibility Commission. Then there is the National Commission. Look at that one, Lady Mo. National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education. National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education. What have these commission been doing? What have they been doing?
Say forward, even if you want to just maybe try to close our eyes to all of these duplications of agencies, ministries, and departments. The question here is the dividends of each of the mandates of these agencies, are they being implemented? Because we always say two good heads is better than one. Let's say, okay, you need competent multiple competent hands. Okay, you're having duplication because you need multiple competent hands.
What have they delivered? What have they done? What do we have to show? Over 900 ministries, departments and agencies in Nigeria, the federal level.
Well,
all motion without movement.
That's the reports we have this morning. Away from that, you're still on to Trends in the Papers, by the way, on Mainland 98.3 FM. We are reviewing the pages of our dailies this morning. We have Side Forward on the other side, helping us with the analysis. From the Punch newspaper, Side Forward, inflation is above 30% in 19 states and FCT despite national easing. Nigeria's headline inflation rates easing marginally in June last month, 2026. Residents in more than half of the country's states, continue to face annual inflation above 30%, with Niger, Kogi, and also the FCT recording the highest rate. And according to the latest Consumer Price Index report that was released by the NBS, show that the headline inflation slowed lightly to 15.91% in June from 15.93% recorded in May. However, the analysis of the state-by-state inflation data show that 19 states and the FCT, representing 20 of Nigeria's 37 subnational entities, or 54.1%, recorded annual all items inflation rates above 30% in June last month. And we have, the breakdown of every other, indices and figures you would like to know about the inflation rate in the Punch newspaper.
Okay, well, this is a data from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics as analyzed by, I think, the Punch newspaper, right?
Yes.
And basically what they are saying is that, look, headline inflation is still a little around 15%, according to the NBS headline inflation reports. But from the same data, they are shown consistently that about 20 states, state by state inflation figures have shown that most of these states are running well over 30%, right? Over 30%. So if you have 37 states and about 20 of the states have an inflation figures of all item,
all item, yes.
So they across all items, the inflation figures are over 30%. That should tell you the reality of the situation, the reality of the Nigerian people at this time when it comes to inflationary trends. I think we've severally explained the meaning of inflation. So even when you say inflation figures are coming up, it does not mean the prices of goods and services have dropped drastically. No, or have dropped. what it means is that the rate at which prices are rising is what is dropping. Abi?
Yeah.
Maybe more. It's not that prices of things have dropped, though. That's not what inflation is, or drop in inflation figures. What it means is that the rate at which prices are going up is what is dropping. You understand?
Right.
So price will loss. Okay, prices are still going up, but not at the rate at which it was going up before. That is what it means. So if they tell you that, look, 20 states have an inflationary trend of over 30%, what it means is that, look, across all items, prices annually have gone up by over 30%. All items. And so when people come out to say we don't have cost of living crisis, I just laugh. I just laugh at that. You guys are just deceiving yourselves. Remember that this inflationary figure that came back to 30, about 15% headline inflation, was as a result of the rebasing of the economy and the rebasing of the calculation. Let's bring in some other indices. But I've always said it, Lady Mo, and I'll conclude by saying again that, look, you can rebase figures, you can rebase data, you can rebase whatever you want to rebase. You know what you cannot rebase, Lady Mo? You cannot rebase the realities of the people. Never, it can never happen. I leave it at that.
Right, except you want to deceive yourself. We all know.
We
all know our daily reality about cost of living.
Cost of living. Rent,
how much did you rent an apartment? Maybe 2-bedroom apartment.
2 years ago.
And now, how much do you is the transportation few months ago till now, or few years ago?
How much do you use to feed yourself and your family some few months ago and now? So look, the people can be delusional about whatever they want to say. The reality is the reality. That one you cannot rebase. That one you can't deceive people. You can deceive yourself. You can exist in that bubble of personal deceit. That's your problem. But people know what they know what they feel, they know their pocket, they know their reality. They know what they were, where they were 3 years ago, and where they are now. You can't rebase that one. You can't deceive them. Propaganda cannot solve that problem for them. They know their reality.
Right. To the Guardian newspaper, quickly, the business page, talking about the 80 trillion naira borrowing of the administration, this and that. Tʀᴇɪᴅs Iṛ had, spoken about that yesterday during an economic review session that was organized by the Senate Committee on Finance. That's according to amidst the growing public anxiety over Nigeria's rising debt burden, widespread economic hardship, and also concerns over whether the country is taking on more obligations that it can sustain. So the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Tʀᴇɪᴅs Iṛ, has moved to clarify the figures surrounding the country's debt profile, and insisting that the administration has not borrowed the so-called 80 trillion naira being widely circulated in public discourse. Said that the apparent increase in the Nigeria's public debt stock had likely been misunderstood, and he explained that a significant portion of the rise was caused by the re-evaluation of existing foreign currency obligations, the formal recognition of inherited liabilities, and also other accounting adjustments rather than just fresh borrowing. And however, he said that the figures being compared in the public space did not present the complete picture of how Nigeria's debt position evolved over the time.
You see, Lady Mo, Mr. Udele is a very smooth speaker. He's going to come up with all manner of accounting lingo, mumble jumble. He's going to throw in statements that, for even a discerning man, you want to begin to question what you already know. And I like the fact that they cherry pick, they pick and choose how to position their statement on some of these issues. So now so that we don't really stop our heads about all of the grammar, all of the accounting, whatever. Now, we've been talking about the fact that, look, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu government had added about 80 trillion to the debt. This was the total debt of the country before it came in, and this is where we are now. So what Mr. Udele is saying is that, those figures look big, but it is not as if those entire 80 trillion came as a result of new borrowing. That in fact, based on Naira depreciation, about 40 trillion was added to the debt. We've always talked about the problem of foreign loan, Lady Mo. Because foreign loans are in foreign currencies. The problem with foreign loan is that whether you borrow more or not, once you devalue your currency, you start to owe more automatically. Very simple thing, Lady Mo. So you borrow, you already have a $1 million debt in dollars, right? And then at the point when you borrow the $1 million, your currency to the dollar was maybe 1,000 to 1, 1,000 to $1, 1,000 naira to $1. So just imagine that your currency falls to a period where it now becomes 1,005 to $1. You know that without borrowing more, you're already owing more.
Right.
In dollar reality. That is what he is trying to explain here, that look, you know, we had a sharp devaluation of our currency, depreciation of our currency when the government came up with its reforms, and that automatically ballooned the debt. Not that there were new borrowing. The government had borrowed. I would have loved for him to give us the details of exact amount that this government had borrowed. And then he talked about inherited debt. What were those? You know, again, it would have been nice to have more clarity, specific details. And then he talked about some other financial adjustments. What are those adjustments? What exactly did we do? But if you look at the issue of naira depreciation, you notice that anytime they want to talk about our foreign reserve, they quote figures and say, oh, the foreign reserve has gone up. This is exactly the amount we have in our foreign reserve. Abi?
Right.
So they tell you that I think we have about $40 million now, Abi?
Yeah, if not more. Is it 40 or 50 something? Because I
know. But in reality, if we look at it in naira terms, have we actually increased our foreign reserve, or it has reduced? Has it really, or has it been substantial? Let me put it that way. Because if you look at the value of money, if you look at the fact that our currency has been so devalued, it may not really make sense to say, oh, there's so much money in our foreign reserve, because at the end of the day, they will tell you that, oh, when we talk about our debt, remember that our currency was devalued, or there was depreciation in our currency. Yeah. But when they talk about foreign reserve, they say, oh, maybe we have added this money.
They say it has surpassed $50 billion. Because
$50 billion.
Yes.
But yes, it has surpassed $50 billion. But in terms of real value, as against our own currency, is it anything to really celebrate, Lady Mo? Because if we say, oh, don't bother with our debt, this thing has gone up only because there was naira depreciation. Oh, why should we celebrate $50 billion if our currency have also been depreciated too? Truly.
All right, we have to go.
So at the end of the day, it is what it is. You can believe whatever you want to believe. The reality is that, look, we are not in a good place. The economy is still struggling. There's a lot that still needs to be done for us to begin to feel positive impact of whatever reforms that have been done.
Right. Thank you very much, Said Fuad, for your analysis this morning. God bless you too.